Baie goeie môre. A very good morning, Molweni Mzansi. It's just 1 minute before 9 o'clock, but I always like to get on time, and I'd like to be on time. Ek wil altyd op tyd wees. Mense het nie altyd tyd nie, en iemand het vir my eendag gesê, as jy laat is, dan vat jy nie my tyd nie, maar jy steel my lewe. So ek wil net vir almal sê, ek probeer altyd op tyd wees. Goeiemôre Jan, Elaine, sommer vroeg af. Eugene, very good morning. Good to see you daar uit die goeie plek van Ermelo. Altyd goed om jou te sien, Eugene, en ek hoop julle vat die manne vas. En dan natuurlik Belinda, goeiemôre. Janola, my Griekse boertjie, baie goeiemôre. Sy verwys na haarself as die Griekse boertjie, en dit is wat sy is. Lorna, very good morning. Pat, en dan natuurlik Eniet Fransman, goeiemôre. Ou baas, ek kom daar, ek kan sien die grys bou opmaak. Is daar Merrin, good morning. Keith, Suzette, baie welkom. As always, Beverly, strong, because that's what she is, always strong. Gregory Jacobs, good morning. Just greeting a couple of people. Kim, groom from Nigel in the house. Johan Miller, good morning. Ja, goed om julle te sien. Nelly Heineke, Elaine Gertse, be blessed and thank you. Keith, how's it? How are you doing? Very good to see you. Michelle, welcome online. Marinda Engelbrecht, Alipad familie. Carmelita, my own sister and family member, good to see you and good morning. Hope that you are well and preparing for Easter. Alexander Edwards, Donald Delport, Malcolm, all the way from Prince Albert. Bobby Meyer, good morning, identifying you. D, good morning. En die allerbeste rots wat ons het van George Cherise, en ek het daarom gesien, jy die Dark Sky sekuriteitsmense gesien vir Jackie en Dwayne daar. Christopher King, good morning. Berdien, daar sy De Beer, nog 'n De Beer. Daar sy. Johan Neting, goeiemôre. Derek, Denise Siegel, always here. And Denise, I hope that you received my email reply back on the SASSA matter and the terrible state of the hospitalization. I hope that your husband recovers. Edwin, very good morning. Ansie Katu, goeiemôre. Ronel, very good morning, seeing you there. En Kevin, Jean Meyer, Wilma, ek groet maar almal, want ek wil. Carl, good morning. Trish, very good to see you. Christopher, if you're on my site, please like it. Debbie, good morning. I'd like you to like this page. Share, if you can, immediately this, so that people can see what my discussion for the next half an hour is about. Melissa, good morning, and we are going to depend on Melissa this morning. She's going to put up a web address. Melissa Smith, a very important announcement with Melissa, and Melissa is going to put up our email address for Melissa for a very important announcement. Jill, good morning. Nikki van Jaarsveld is ook hierso. Koti, Shaal, almal Mitchells Plain in die huis. Daar sy Shaal Bester. My huis, my tweede huis, Mitchells Plain, Bontheuwel, Tafelsig, ons goeie mense, en ons gaan 'n bietjie praat oor dit. Cheryl, good morning, and I will be addressing that matter. So without further ado, very good morning. Our Wednesday, as I've said for the past 2 years, every Wednesday, no matter where we are, we need to speak to each other about the state of this nation for the past week and where we're going and certain issues that I want to address very clearly. Thuis, weer Mary, goeiemôre Doring, Fulwell, Tommy, julle is daar. Firstly, I'd like to start off by sending our country, our nation's heartfelt prayers, our absolute deep thoughts of sympathy, and huge support for the people in KZN. Van almal van ons in hierdie land wil ek vir al die mense sê wat in die vloede en in die rampgebiede in Kwazulu-Natal op hierdie oomblik in 'n verskriklike en 'n haaglike situasie is, wil ons sê ons gebede, ons gedagtes en ons wense van sterkte aan julle. It is never a great thing to see our citizens of this country in certain areas hit by such tragedy, and this country's prayers this morning with the people of KwaZulu-Natal in the recovery, in God's strength, and in all our thoughts and whatever we can do as South Africans to stand with you. So we hope there's a lot of recovery. Shocking though, the news that unfortunately, government has not performed, that there's no reaction, the tragic news and pathetic news yesterday, that there was no capability, as we understand it, still to be confirmed, of any helicopters that were immediately available within the first 30 minutes of disaster. This reported on news channels. I understand there's a lot of fake news, but if this is true, then another ice cream needs to be given to the people that are supposed to be attacking that state of disaster. Mense, ons moet begin opstaan. And again, this is a part of my discussion today about not waiting for government, not waiting for state, but taking matters into our own hands to ensure that we are ready, that we look after ourselves, that safety and security, and that matters of disaster, that we as the citizens are prepared in community organizations, in networks of neighborhood watches, and our own way of, in actual fact, securing ourselves. Because if we're going to wait for this government to come and help us, then I'm sorry, but that will become a disaster on a disaster. Dit sal net vorentoe gaan as ons saam staan, maar ons sal agtertoe gaan as ons ongelukkig vir hierdie staat wat op hierdie oomblik deur die ANC regeer word en deur ander partye ondersteun word, as ons vir hulle moet waag. So die beste manier op die einde van die dag is wragtig om ons mekaar te help en by mekaar te staan soos ons altyd gedoen het as bure. En die openingsrede wat ek vir julle wil gee vandag is, elke buurman 'n ander buurman help, dan gaan niemand hulp nodig hê op die einde van die dag nie. So almal van ons weet vandag is daar mense wat in ons land staan, wat op hierdie oomblik seer kry in Kwazulu-Natal en ons gebede saam met hulle. Right, so let's talk a couple of things that I've listed. My subject matter today, I'd like to start off with a great announcement. In the past 2 to 3 weeks, you will notice that I have been speaking about a lost group of citizens, people that are lost to us, people that are close to our hearts, and in actual fact, those people also, one of them being myself. And what am I speaking about? I am speaking about, in specific, the forgotten military veterans in this country. Ek wil graag praat gou-gou oor wat ons as die UIM nou wil doen vir die militêre veterane in hierdie land. Hulle sê soort soek soort, en ek is een van daai. Wat 'n mens nie kan aanvaar in hierdie land, is dat ons nie soos ander lande alles probeer doen om ons militêre veterane, ongeag van kleur en toestand, ongeag van kant waarin u beklei het as 'n militêre veteraan, wil ons vir u opstaan vandag. Want ons glo dat hierdie mense wat hulle lewens gegee het op 'n stadium, party 1 jaar, party 2 jaar en party hulle hele lewe, dat ons nie hierdie militêre veterane net kan agterlos nie. Nie net militêre veterane nie, maar ook mense wat in die polisiediens hulle lewens gegee het, en daai wat in uniform onder korrektiewe dienste op hierdie oomblik staan en gestaan het. Met ander woorde, ons praat oor die mense wat in uniform ons land verdedig het. Now the question that was posed to me, are we talking about the liberation military veterans? In other words, the MK, the APLA, and therefore the other groupings of liberation military veterans? And the answer is absolutely no. I'm talking about general military veterans from all sides. Because no matter your color, your race, your objective, or the side that you were fighting and believe that you are fighting for, you are classed as a military veteran because you gave your service and duty. It's about time in this country that we stop the continuation of this race angle on everything. And I know both sides. It is therefore that I can stand with authority and tell you from both sides that it is necessary that we start working together and protecting each other. It takes a big man, it takes a woman with a great heart to put out their hand and say, until here and no further. We both need each other. Therefore, I'd like to announce today the creation of the United Military Veterans Association, supported by the United Independent Movement, to start speaking in provinces collectively to military veterans. I want to also today congratulate the military veterans that served in the South African Coloured Corps. Ek wil vandag vir die Suid-Afrikaanse Kleerlingkorps, die SAKK, en hulle veterane baie gelukwens met hulle hofsaak wat hierdie maand gaan plaasvind. Ek dink dit is die 21ste April in die Hooggeregshof. Die Suid-Afrikaanse Kleerlingkorps wat 'n groot bydrae gelewer het tot die dienste van die weermag, is ook soos al die ander militêre veterane weggegooi. Maar hierdie groep het besluit dat hierdie militêre veterane, dat hulle gaan hof toe gaan om hulle regte op hierdie oomblik te beskerm, maar die neeweffek is dat alle militêre veterane in hierdie land hierdie uitspraak moet voorwag. What is a military veteran? A military veteran is a person recognized that served in an official military capacity in a military organization recognized by the country, by the South African Military Veterans Association, that are pathetic, and by the people that are currently supposed to be adjudicating the benefits of military veterans. That's a military veteran. Nou of jy nou 1 jaar, 2 jaar diensplig, korttermyn of langtermyn permanente diens in hierdie land gelewer het in uniform, u is 'n militêre veteraan. And what I'm telling you right now is that you are allowed to claim benefits. In other words, you are allowed to go register as a military veteran, which this country's government has not been successful for. And it is biased at this current moment because they're just looking at a certain entity and they are not. It is time that every military veteran decides to unite so that collectively we can keep this government in its position to look after ourselves. And if you cannot do that, then we're going to do it. And people frown when you speak about a military veteran. Well, it's funny that in America, in the UK, in Germany, in France, in Israel, in the majority of countries, the military veterans that gave liberty and freedom to this country, that fought for an ideology created by themselves by formulating such a structure to defend the country in its own term, are disregarded in this country. Well, I'm telling you right now that I am saying not on behalf of the military veterans because I have no right, but as a military veteran, I am saying enough is enough. Genoeg is genoeg, want die geld wat julle as die ANC staat steel, daai geld is die geld wat aan die militêre veterane toe moet gaan. The 2 trillion that you steal and still steal as members of this government should actually be going to create housing, medical aid and education for our military veterans and their children, and you're stealing it. Now, let me quickly tell you, the military veterans, the people that served in the police, the veterans of the police service, the members that are in uniform, those people gave you the bloody liberty today to govern us, and you can't even govern. Now that's very weird, because by the barrel of the gun, by the shedding of blood from the body, and by seeing our comrades, ons kamerade en ons medesoldate sterf, in die lyn om hierdie land te formuleer soos ons leer, steel julle nog steeds geld en julle weier om ons kinders skoolse gelde te betaal. Weier julle om ons mediese fondse op te kikker en om ons huise te gee. How sad and pathetic must the government become when you cannot even look after our military veterans? Now let me quickly tell you, white and black and colored and whomever the racial nation that you are trying to divide here, there's one thing that does not divide, and that is the camaraderie, the ethics and the morals of a soldier that binds us together. No matter if you're an MK veteran or if you're an SADF veteran, you served. You gave your life and you gave your blood and sweat and you were prepared to die so that today we can really sit here and call ourselves free, but we're not free. How disgusting must it be today if you sit here and you served with a barrel of a gun to defend this country and you look at the state of this nation. How shocking is it not? So die manne met die grys baarde, dit is nou ons, wat in die polisie was, wat in die weermag was, wat in diens was. Julle moet wakker word en terugsit en sê, vir wat? If you're an MK keider, and you're an MK veteran, mamela ntate, nomslanje, apa imali udololo, ufuna niks. Wat se benza, apa service, kano u soldier, u military, u MK, u pongkam, u nomslanje, apa ayiko mali. Ayiko se benza. Met ander woorde, ek praat nou kosa met die MK veterane, waarvan ek ook 'n lid is. Snaaks, ek is 'n lid van die MK veterane, en ek is 'n lid van die ou SA Weermag veterane. Dis my redes, ek het al gesê hoekom en ek staan by, maar hier is 'n mens, hier staan 'n man wat aan al twee kante beklei het, want ek het geglo op 'n stadium aan al twee, maar op hierdie oomblik sit ek hierso na 32 jaar en ek verklaar dit, daai woord moertoe. Het jy my gehoor? Ons mense, die burgers in hierdie land, oor die ouderdom van 50, wat beklei het, wat diensplig gaan doen het, en aan die ander kant, die MK-soldate wat geglo het, hulle beklei vir 'n ideologie, ons al twee, wit en swart, sit nou hier en ons verklaar 'n land waarvoor ons gebloei het, makkers afgestaan het, comrades that we gave up, and you sit here today, and you're unhappy. Well, NDB, the United Independent Movement, is saying enough is enough. We are many military veterans. We are probably 1 million or more that served in these matters of state as people that carried a uniform. My oproep vandag is dat ons ophou moet praat met APLA en MK en SAW en ou SAP, ons moet besluit om as een woord saam te staan, want op die einde van die dag is daar een ding as 'n militêre veteraan, as 'n polisie veteraan, wat ek weet, en dit is bly die dissipline. Dit maak nie saak wie jy is nie, dit maak nie saak van waar af jy kom nie, maar as jy 'n uniform gedra het, en daar was 'n rangstruktuur op jou, as ek vir julle op 'n paradegrond kry vandag, maak nie saak wie jy is nie, jy sal rang teken verstaan. Jy sal verstaan hoekom ons dissipline gehad het, en as 'n soldaat en as 'n polisieman het ons geweet wat is dissipline. Vandag, moertoe, daar is net nie dit nie. There isn't anything like that. So I'd like to ask everybody to please take note that I've appointed a coordinator, Melissa Smith. Melissa is hierso, Melissa sit vir ons haar e-pos hierso. Sy gaan dit nou hier op hierdie klik, can you please note it, and I'm going to bring out a banner this week with Melissa's details. Melissa will be the military veteran coordinator of the UIM as of today. She will be backed up by people like Corwin Peters, people that served, and more people that are within the military veterans capacity, so that we can start finding out who you are. Met ander woorde, ons wil graag met u kommunikeer, sodat ons kan uitvind wie is u. Dit is omtrent bly die tyd dat 'n politieke party opstaan vir die militêre en die polisie veterane in die land. Nou wat ek wil hê van u, is u moet Melissa se detail vat, het sy nou net haar WhatsApp nommer en haar e-pos nommer, kom, as u 'n militêre veteraan is, no matter what military veteran you are, send us your details so that we can start putting it on an Excel spreadsheet and province by province start making sure that the military and police veterans of this country have got a voice for now. Not the voice of government, because it is exactly them that at the end of the day are not talking to us. You have military veterans in this country that have been waiting 15 to 20 years for a house. Not asking for a house, but being told that you deserve a house, that you qualify for a house. A military veteran today, after 30 years of democracy, is still staying in another man's house. How pathetic. Maar julle kan steal. A military veteran, his child can get a grant to go to school, but the school are putting out certain children because the Military Veterans Association has not paid their monthly fee. Maar julle kan steal. Now you can run around and you can be whatever political party you want to, but unfortunately, if your political party has not serving veterans in it, you have no clue. And then we go on and we create these massive fake scenarios where we say we care. You don't care about military veterans and police veterans because you weren't one. There are people dying today, excuse me, and they've never had a benefit. There are police officers today that are sitting, that are waiting for their pension. Ja. Daar's polisieoffisiere in hierdie land wat afgetree het en hulle wag nou nog vir 'n pensioen. How pathetic are you? So enough is enough with the letters and the requests to Neil de Beer and the UIM to help military and police veterans, and today we start that. Because we have a voice. And I want to be that voice. Weereens, dit maak nie saak aan watter kant jy beklei nie, dit maak nie saak nie. As jy uniform dra en jy het gedra, jy's 'n veteraan, ons gaan na jou begin kyk. So Melissa, thank you very much for taking up that massive task. You and your committee that will become national as the people send the info to you. I really hope that at the end of the day, we can look our military and police veterans in the face and tell them that we did something at least for them. In 'n state dat ons nou bly die opstaan. The people that liberated this country, and the people that fought for liberation, and the people that fought for a cause pre- and post-apartheid, are now forgotten. And their families are suffering. Enough is enough. Let's take our people and love them, and let's see that we can take care of them. So Melissa, I look forward on your reports, your weekly updates, so that provincially we can get our coordinators of this United Military and Police Veterans Association so that we can speak to them. You have the power to stand together, and together we will stand. So vir almal wat vir my geskryf het, baie dankie vir u hulp. Dankie vir die inligting. Ons begin daai ding vandag. So please contact Melissa. She will continually put her WhatsApp and her email address here. Then the next matter is I'd like to talk about the ANC. ANC. South Africa, I know that entity. I supported that entity. I dreamed of the Rainbow Nation. I believed in a society that must be equal and where there is currently no prejudice. But today again, as of 2 years ago, as a member of that club and a member that looked and wanted that club to do what it must be doing, it failed. Now, a lot of people say, but Neil, you were part of. Yes, a normal member I was part of. Because like you, I dream about a country that for once in their lifetime will not be racial. And what did we get? We got exactly the opposite. Nou ek wil gou, want ek het beloof, ek wil gou vir Ina en haar man, en dan wil ek gou vir Kathy Woods en vir haar man, wil ek gou 'n boodskapie uitstuur. Dit was absoluut fantasties om julle gister in Brackenfell te ontmoet. I had a stunning surprise yesterday when I went to visit a community in Brackenfell in Cape Town. And afterwards, I had a coffee in a coffee shop, and most of those people in the coffee shop came to say hello, including Kathy, her husband, and Ina and her husband. And I want to quickly stop by saying thank you. Thank you for the prayer. Thank you for the hug. And thank you for the words that you gave me. Dankie vir die woorde, Ina en Cathy en julle fantastiese mans, wat opgestaan het en na my toe gekom het en vir my gesê het, Neil de Beer moenie ophou nie, jy word nageluister. So vir daai mense in Brackenfell, wat gister Brackenfell nog 'n huis aan my gegee het, waar ek tuis voel, baie dankie. En ek sien uit om by ander plekke ook te kom, want dit is werklik vir my 'n riem onder die hart, as ek ons mense so in koffiewinkels, in die strate, en in parkeerareas en restaurante daarom kan groet en hallo sê. Julle gee my die krag om op te staan. So Brackenfell, great, goed om daar te wees en ek is baie lief vir almal van julle. South Africa, the African National Congress has changed. But the management of the ANC has not. It hasn't. In actual fact, it's fallen apart. And I'm going to tell you something now that I want you to listen and understand. And that is that you are sitting with an ANC that cannot work in this country unless it actually intimidates, orchestrates, and manages through many, many devious ways the population. The ANC that I know integrately can never in its lifetime bring and manage this country to where we want it. That's a decision, because here's the following concept. The majority of the people that are sitting in the National Executive Council of the African National Congress are communists. Now, ek wil hê jy moet gou vir my luister, want ek gee vir jy inligting wat belangrik is. 'n Communist is nie 'n kapitalis nie. Nou 'n communist en 'n kapitalis is soos water en olie en jy gooi dit in een drom. Hulle albei lê in dieselfde drom. They both lie in the same drum as communist and as capitalist, but they can't mix. They're both liquids. But oil and water can't mix. En dis die waarheid. As niemand dit al aan u verduidelik het nie, hier is die beslissende ideologie. Ek het vir u gesê, stukkie vir stukkie sal ons die ANC afkraak en ontbreek en ontrond en uit mekaar uit spat, want hulle kan nie by mekaar sit nie, want dis 'n kommunis wat 'n kapitalistiese land probeer regeer. Olie en water. So think about it. The African National Congress is in a tripartite alliance with the COSATU Union and the South African Communist Party. They're partners. How does a communist with an ideology of socialism and communism try to manage a country that's democratic and capitalist? Want aan die een kant wil jy vir almal alles gee en jy wil almal gelyk maak en jy met almal praat en aan die ander kant wil jy profijt dryf en jy wil die besigheid bou. That's why you're failing, ANC, because you're communistic. And then you move over and you say, no, but we're also socialistic. Doesn't matter. A capitalist country that thrives on the economy, building businesses and making GDP cannot be communistic at the same heart. It is impossible. And that is why for the past 27 years, the ANC has taken this country and that it has shredded it. It has absolutely broken it up and fails. Why? Because in its NEC, the 92 members, they have legotlas, because in the communistic system, everybody must have a say and everybody must be consulted. In a capitalistic regime, a president takes a decision, the cabinet implements, and the people follow. Nee, not here. Not in this country, because we are still being run like a communistic entity. And you can't debate it, and I'm asking anybody and everybody that is there, or that wants to debate with me. I was part of that system. And that's why I left. Want jy het 'n president in hierdie land wat nie op sy eie kan regeer nie. Hy's 'n absolute pop, hy's 'n puppet. Hy het nie 'n ruggraat nie. Hy het nie 'n ruggraat nie, want hy kan nie 'n ruggraat hê nie, want die ANC se stelsel laat hom nie dit doen nie. Daar's hy. So South Africa is not about the bad ANC, it's not about a good ANC, it is a failed ANC. And it's a failed ANC because at the end of the day, they can't govern because they still have a communistic, socialistic ideology. That's it. En dit is hoekom die land uit mekaar uitspat, want hulle kan nie education doen nie, they cannot do government, they can't train and educate their people. And a country, hear me well, that's not educated take emotional decisions, and that's why we've got looting, theft, crime and pulverization. They've got no control. They never had control. Because in the Mandela era that I served in, it was like a rainbow nation. Julle onthou daai eerste 4-5 jaar toe Mandela president was, niks kon verkeerd gaan nie. Rugby wêreldbeker, François, Madiba, alles was reg. Alles was hoop. Daar was great hoop, man. En toe is die res moer toe. Nee, hy het net gegly. That's the fact. Ek dink iemand moet begin praat. Ek dink iemand moet die waarheid praat, maar die probleem is, ek kan praat, want ek was binne. Die mense wat buite staan, julle kan nie praat nie. Albei die mense wat buite staan kan sê, is nie, dit is sleg. Maar niemand kan sê, hoekom nie. Ek kan vir jou sê. En ek kan dit beklei. Niemand kan dit beklei behalwe ons as die UIM nie. Julle kan dit nie beklei nie. Ek weet wat binne aangaan. Dit is soos Moses. Moses was nie 'n Egiptenaar nie. Moses was 'n Israeliet. Maar Moses het in die koning van die Farao se paleis groot geword. En toe hy die mense moes uitlei, het hy geweet wat die Egiptenare gaan doen. I know what they're doing. And I'm speaking to you. I'm trying to tell you. Dit kan nie so aangaan nie. Ons moet 'n verandering van staat hê as ons hierdie land wil verander, mense. Die ANC is besig om staties uit mekaar uit te val. They are starting to take people that have 2,700 criminal records and make them a chairman of a city, whilst those charges are there. They're vindicating ministers and say, but they did nothing wrong. They hire and fire commissioners of police as if it's a change of underwear. And they refuse to remove the people that are between 80 and Biltong, and they don't want them to serve in cabinet. Hierdie mense moet afgetree wees, hulle moet rustig raak, maar ons het nog steeds kabinetministers wat 76 jaar oud is. Niks fout met 76 nie, niks fout met 80 nie, maar dan moet jy begin aftree. Jy moet begin rus, jy moet in daai goeie tydperk van die einde van jou lewe wees. Jy kan nie nog staatsbesluite vat nie. Waar's die jeug? Where's the youth? And we just don't do it. And the shocking thing is you vote for the ANC every time. Like you vote for other parties and you believe they're going to change. They're not going to change. They're going to do the same thing. When do we wake up? And then you've got party leaders now that become certain positions and they say, but you know, they're going to make a change. And then they tell you they're not going to take salaries and they're not going to take cars and they're not going to take bodyguards and they're not going to, because they're going to pay for itself. Well, that's not a new ideology. Neil de Beer has been doing that for his whole life. I don't get paid by the UIM. Do you understand that? The UIM does not pay me a cent. I don't get a salary from the UIM political party whatsoever. I pay my own car, my own petrol, my own staff, my own VIP protection. This is an old concept because I don't need to double dip. I don't need to take your money. The party needs your money. I don't need it because I believe you must lead by example. Nou kom hulle dit met 'n nuwe Twitter en 'n goeie ideologie dat dit is 'n verskriklike groot ding dat jy afstaan van fondse. What a lot of rubbish. It's just called leadership, and if you've just found that out, congratulations, welcome to the club of ethics. Now, let's get to it. Illegal immigrants. word 'n bietjie geklap daar gister deur 'n vrou wat op Twitter vir my sê nadat ek sê Operation Dudula, where they're running around and taking and closing drug dealers and drug shops and where they're taking illegal immigrants on, she says it's because I'm a racist and because I'm white. So I hit her back and I said to her, thank you, I never knew that. So I'm going to tell my mom I was confused for 30 years. I never knew I was white. What a lot of rubbish. And then I say to her, it is because of your racist behavior. You see, if you can't have an intellectual debate, then you become racist. Jy praat nonsens, man. Want alles in hierdie land, as ons kom op 'n ideologie en as ons begin intellektueel praat, en jy verloor daai debat, dan sê jy, jy's 'n rasis. I think from now on we should take a very big yellow sticker with a frown and saying on it, idiot. And you should walk around with this pack of stickers and every single time you get into an argument and at the end of the day the person turns around and says, but it's because you're a racist. Take that sticker and plak hom op sy voorkop. Net daar. Soos 'n ice cream. Nee, gee dit vir hom. It will say idiot. Because your racial debate between black and white on black, it doesn't matter. It's still a personal debate about what is right and what's wrong. Now in this country, I'm very clear. Illegal immigrants, uit is jy. Met vliegtuig, trok, kar, boks, bus, enige iets, julle moet uit. What am I saying? I am not saying that foreigners from any country in the world that comes here, that have got a visa, that have come through the border, that has a stamp, that you are not welcome. Don't you get it? Do you get English? Kan jy Afrikaans praat? Jou teta is kos aan omslaand. I'm saying, if you are a illegal immigrant in this country, dan moet jy voetsak. Tsak man, sorry. En die Kaap praat ons so. So stop saying that we are 100% against foreigners. Jy praat nonsens. It's the word illegal. So when Operation Dudula and the people start going across the country by saying immigrants that are illegal must go and drug dealers, I am not supporting violence, I am supporting law. And until the illegal immigrants don't get out and government don't deport them and stop them at the bloody border, then people like Operation Dudula are going to get oxygen like a fire. Then don't walk around and complain. Frikkie. Because Frikkie Malema, it seems his biggest constituents are the illegal foreigners because he's not getting enough South African votes. Jou Romeis plank. So daar's hy. The United Independent Movement does not support the infiltration of illegal immigrants in this country. We support foreigners visiting, working, if it is done legally. Do you get it now? As jy hier in hierdie land is, en jy is hierso onwettig, dan moet jy uit. Want as ek na 'n ander land toe gaan, dan moet ek hierdie proses gaan. Ek kan nie deur 'n rivier met krokodille swem, en dan sê ek het ewe skielik 'n spaza shop nie. Jy moet toegemaak word, en jy moet uit, my broer. That's it. There's no other discussion. So don't make a debate racial, or make a debate about my ideology of humanity. En hier kom ek nou, toe ek die ander dag gesê het, dat ons kriminele wat in die tronke sit, hulle kan nie meer in die tronke sit nie, hulle moet gaan werk. Dan staan die mense se oë so, but what about human rights? Bugger your human right. You committed a crime against the citizen, and you took my human rights away. So luister gou vir my, onder 'n UIM government, julle wat daarso sit, die mense wat in die tronke is, nie meer nie. Julle gaan nie op julle gatte sit nie. Julle gaan werk, julle gaan skoffel. That's it. You've got to pay back your debt to society, and paying your debt back doesn't mean sitting on your backside for 12 hours in a jail cell. Jy moet gaan werk. Jy moet gaan koeie melk. Jy moet gaan skoffel, aardappels groei sodat jy kan kos kry. I believe that if you're going to pay a debt back to society, it's not about being incarcerated, it is about paying back to society. Nou sê hulle die mense maar ook, Neil, jy's 'n bietjie rof. Ja, ek is rof. Die mense wat in die tronke sit moet begin werk. Ek voel vir wat hulle doen. Daar's genoeg potholes om 100,000 van hulle besig te hou. So in ons regime, in die UIM se ideologie, jy gaan werk as jy tronk toe gaan. Klaar. En ek wil nie hoor van human rights en al jou regte nie, man. Vat dit en skort dit op, want toe jy my skiet, toe jy my roof, toe jy my bedon en op die einde van die dag het jy my reg weggevat. So jou reg vat ons weg. Dis klaar. Nou sê hulle, hierdie man is kwaai. Ja. Is tyd dat hierdie land ruggraat kry, is tyd dat ons 'n bietjie opstaan. En toe sê ek die ander dag van 'n publieke platform, en mense, ek moet nou 'n bietjie begin klaarmaak, want ek moet ry, ek moet na 'n vergadering toe gaan. Ek is 'n counselor. En toe ek opstaan die ander dag, en toe sê ek gaan diensplig terugbring. Wow, mense het verskriklik uitgepas en het rooi geraak. People said, what? You want to bring back national service? Toe sê ek, ja. Absolutely. Under a united independent movement government, I'm bringing back 1-year mandatory national service. En die meeste van julle gaan saam met my stem. The people today that are the youth, you need discipline. You need to get back where you get a formulation of a bit of backbone and structure. And the only way to do that is to teach you that. Want by baie huise, by mamma en papa, is daai dissipline ongelukkig nie meer daar nie. So under a UIM government, get me right, 'n jaar diensplig, daar gaan jy. Why? Because maybe if black and white and colored and Indian go to do national service, they'll understand each other's culture. Want as jy diensplig doen, dan gee dit nie om wie jy is nie. Dit maak nie saak of jy 'n surfer, 'n persoon wat in 'n orkes gespeel het of 'n miljonair seun nie. Jy moet dieselfde uniform, dieselfde bed, dieselfde kos en dieselfde PT en op en af hardloop. Jy gaan moet formuleer op een land. En miskien is dit tyd. Want as jy daar uitkom, dan het jy darm een ding, en dit is, jy het dissipline. Wat jy daarna doen, is God se wil. But the UIM is demanding that 1-year national service comes back for people that leave school for the term of 1 year. Maar diensplig gaan jy doen. Want as jy minder geld steel, dan kan jy dit bekostig om 'n nasionale diensplig op te bring, and we are not the only country that does national service. Okay? There are many countries, so it's not a South African thing. In Israel, in Europe, in the United States, there are people that have to do national service or that can do national service. So don't tell me it can't be done in this country. En is omtrent bly die tyd, want as jy jou eie bed, jou eie badkamer en jou eie vloere moet skop en skoonmaak, miskien sal jy verstaan hoekom hierdie land een van die beste lande is in hierdie wêreld. So if you want to go there, Colin, Supu, Jannie en Gerard, almal van julle diensplig. Klaar. And then maybe we can take the national servicemen, because then they will be getting a salary, not a huge one, but maybe then we can put them on the borders of this country. We can make those national servicemen protect our country, because that's what we need right now. You can't tell me that you are happy, that you are sitting with all the people that came through the border illegally and hulle sit in Hielbrow. Hulle sit in Seepunt. Nou wil julle hier kom beklei. You should have fought them at the border. Want hulle is klaar deur. So I would like to have your opinion about telling us. You can email me, Neil, Neil @uimsa.org, Neil I want to just know, do you agree with national service or don't you? Stuur vir my daai e-pos. Kom ons doen 'n poll. Kom ons doen een van daai. I want to know if you agree with me. Because I think it's time, because maybe then there'll be less gangsters on the streets, less youth running around trying to be gangsters. Hulle moet in 'n plek wees waar hulle nasionale diens doen. I'm telling you, that's the only way forward to nationally discipline this country and to get unity back again. Because if Sipho en Jannie, hulle moet langs mekaar stap, hulle gaan gou mekaar uitsorteer, hoor. Baie gou. And that is just maybe how it's going to work. The next thing I'd like to tell you in finality is just 3 other stuff that is very important for this week on my heart. We are not going to allow this government to draft any health bill or any little shenanigan that's going to keep this country under a draconian state for vaccines. Do you understand me? Ons gaan dit nie toelaat nie. Julle probeer dit nou inglip en uitglip, maar julle gaan dit nie reg kry nie. I'm telling you right now, stop that idea, because the citizens will revolt against that. We are absolutely okay with the fact that we can live together, that if there is a medical scenario, we can do it ourselves and that we can get in order. But at the end of the day, stop threatening us with draconian legislation. That gaan nie werk nie. We are totally against that. We are not going to accept that. The other mere fact that we are talking today about the economy, ons moet 'n bietjie begin terugkyk oor ons ekonomie en waarvoor ons belasting betaal. Why are you paying tax? You're paying tax so that you can get rate of return in service. And I'm sorry, but you're failing South Africa. The South African Revenue Service the other day boasted that they collected 1.x trillion. Well done. You collected that 1.6 trillion from the people in this country that willingly pay tax. Now what we want from you is we want return of investment. And you better bloody sort out Eskom, want ons raak nou gatvol. Nee, ons is klaar gatvol. Sort it out. We are not going to stand for this for a long time. When you pay, you need to get back service. If you don't get back service, why must you pay? But because we are disciplined citizens, we will continue giving the king, as per the scripture, what is him due. But I believe that we can do better. The economy of this country is failing because the people that are running the economy has never ever run a business in their life. They're a career politician. They don't understand us. And that's where I want you to understand. We need to start waking up. 2024 is not about the choice of a political party. A political party, and next week, Wednesday, myself and my people will talk about the ideology of a human being that's belonging to a political party. You listen to me because I have got a certain ideology. Jy luister vir my en jy support my want jy glo in wat ek sê en die feit dat ek 'n ruggraat het om op te staan en dit in die publiek vir die staat te sê. Die UIM is ons politieke party en ons moet 'n politieke party hê sodat Neil de Beer, Fatima Abdul en die res van ons in die parlement kan inkom sodat ons hierdie goed kan sê namens jou. Dames en here, om in te kom en om in daai parlement in te kom het ons julle stemme nodig. En daai stemme moet vir 'n party wees, die UIM. Daar's hy. As u glo wat ek sê, as u glo wat Fatima sê, as u glo wat Kurt, ons jeugleier, sê, die enigste manier is om vir ons te stem as 'n politieke party. Want as die party u stemme kry, kom ek en Fatima en Kurt en die res van ons wat praat soos jy, kom ons in om hierdie ding te beklei vir jou. Daar's hy. As u nie ons ondersteun nie, dis okay. Daar's baie ander politieke partye wat weer vir jou gaan nonsens praat op 'n paal en dan vind vir jou net los. Ons vra dus, stem saam met ons, but if you're not a member, join us. South Africa, I've invited that if you need me, email info@uim and invite me. I want to come and speak to you. And in closing, the reason why is because I am not a politician. I'm an activist and a citizen that cares about you. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't care. I really do. So if the UIM is a party that speaks your language about national service, military veterans, changing the economy, defending the Constitution, bringing back religion and Christ, make sure that we are there. And then ek moet nou afsluit, maar daar's een ding wat ek wil by u los. It has come under our attention that this country, this government, are endorsing the fact of the licensing and the opening of satanic churches in this country and allowing them to operate. Dis reg. Moenie van die stoel afval nie. Ek is laasweek ingelig dat hierdie staat die toestemming gegee het vir satanistiese kerke om op hierdie oomblik oopgemaak te word. Daar's meer as 8 amptelike Satan kerke in hierdie land en een van hulle is in Blouberg. Shocking, skokkend dat u sal durf om satanisme in hierdie land nou te erken as 'n geloof. Die Here help ons. God must intercede. How can we allow a government to allow satanic churches now to open in our cities? That's the last. Dit is 'n verskrikking om uit te vind dat Satan se geloof nou 'n geloof is. Now let me put out this warning straight. Not while the UIM is alive. I don't care who you are. Ek voel vere dat jy vir my nou gaan preek oor sogenaamde regte. Nou hoor my, demoeren met jou reg om 'n satanistiese geloof en 'n Satan kerk in ons woongebiede toe te laat. Nooit nie. And if I've got to take up this movement and shut those down, then so be it. Want dit is nou die uiterste van 'n drakoniese gemors. And I'm sorry, my religion as a Christian and my colleagues that are in the religion of Muslim and Islamic and Jewish agree with me. Anything but a satanic dark church, this is crazy. And I will be visiting that area and go finding out how did they get the right to suddenly open this. Now kom ek sê vir jou, the UIM will lead that. We are shutting them down. We will not allow that because that is the last bit of rubbish. Ons kan nie dit toelaat nie. And I can't believe that political parties that run provinces and cities, that they will allow such licenses to be issued. It's a satanic church. Nee mense, ons moet begin skoonmaak in hierdie land en dit begin by jou en dit begin by my en dit begin by die UIM. Kom ons vee skoon. Kom ons begin. Julle moet by my staan, want die ander politieke partye sê niks. Ons gaan dit nie toelaat nie. Not while blood pumps here am I going to allow that Satanism and that is being recognized as another religion in this country. And we've changed the constitution. We are changing the constitution of the UIM, where I said that as a Christian-based entity, but that respects all faiths, no. We will respect all faiths, but vehemently reject faiths like Satanism that has got nothing to do with the light. It's absolutely to do with the dark, and we will clean you up. We are not going to allow you to take our children and our societies to the dark side. That's the last thing I'm going to allow. South Africa, we've said a lot today. Ons het baie gesê. Ek het reguit gepraat oor sekere goeders, oor ons militêre veterane, oor die ANC wat verkrimpel, op hierdie oomblik die menseregte wat op hierdie oomblik aangegee word deur ander, diensplig wat moet terugkom, die feit dat ons op hierdie oomblik as 'n ekonomie moet saamstaan, en dat ons hierdie politieke partye wat satanisme toelaat. Ja, jy laat dit toe, want as jy dit nie toegemaak het nie, dan laat jy dit toe. En dan laastens, mense soos die Hendrikke, jy moet gaan druk. Dames en here, jy gaan altyd 'n persoon kry wat 'n idioot en 'n yskriem moet kry. Hulle kom maar hier op en hulle het niks anders om te doen nie, want hulle politieke leiers kom nie elke week op 'n Woensdag en met u reguit praat en die vra nie. En nie, jy moet maar nou vir jou 'n ander plek gaan kry, miskien in Blouberg. Maar hier is jy nie welkom as jy nie saam met ons is nie. Hierdie blad is vir die mense wat oë het en wat kan sien. Ore het wat kan hoor en 'n mond het om op te staan en te praat. As jy nie dit wil doen nie, luister gou my vriend, daar's 325 ander politieke partye wat jy maar kan gaan jep, né? Maar Henny, stuur gou vir ons 'n CV en dan sê jy gou vir ons, wat doen jy? Ja, elke dag, wat doen jy vir ons? Of sit jy maar net hierso en drink 'n koffie en eet jou beskuit en praat nonsens met die diere. Suid-Afrika, die Here seën julle. Kyk na julle, ek is nou op pad na 'n council meeting toe om 'n bietjie dalk te gaan beklei. U het vir my gestem, ons is in, ons hou ons 3 metros waar ons in is, en dit is vir my 'n voorreg om vir u te staan en namens u te praat. Onthou, dit gaan nie oor ras nie. Dit gaan ook nie altyd oor klas nie. Dit gaan oor jou gebed, dit gaan oor jou geloof, en dit gaan oor jou etiek. Dit gaan oor jou etiek, en dit gaan oor jou eer. Kom ons staan saam as Suid-Afrikaners, let's stand together as South Africans. We have 18 months to prepare for a national election. And I'm ready to serve. My executive is ready. Kom ons gaan luister môre na Fatima, ons visiepresident. Kyk na jouself. Vir die volgende paar weke gaan ek 'n bietjie af en aan wees. Ek het 'n paar goed te doen medies, om net aan myself te kyk, soos ek partymal nie hier is nie, verskoon tog, maar die res van die span is daar. Ons vra die Here se geloof en sy sterkte en sy gebede oor hierdie land. Remember, South Africa first, but our God always remains number one. Thank you for giving me this time, the blessing that you always allow me to be here. Forward this now. If you've got a button at the bottom, share this video. Stuur asseblief hierdie video aan soveel as moontlik. Like hierdie video nou, druk hy knoppie sodat ons kan opstaan. Remember Melissa's details. If you are a military veteran or a police veteran, we would like you to please send your details so that we can speak to you. If you can't get hold of her, please send it either to info@uimsa.org and we will send it on, or to my private email, neil@uimsa.org, and just look at all these likes and these hearts. Thank you very much. I love you dearly. Ek is baie lief vir julle en ek sien uit om julle gou weer te sien. Goeie week verder. Goeie Paasfees. Onthou, die Paasgedagte gaan nie oor eiers nie. Dit gaan nie oor sjokolade nie. Dit gaan oor wat gebeur het in daai tye met die geboorte van ons eie Christus. Kyk na mekaar en ons is baie lief vir mekaar. Bye bye.